60-year-old struggle with memories. Wow.
I'm not crazy ever since Brooke started going. How did I say such horrible things about them?
That's how they sell magazines. Said something about me and you. My own dad wears them some sort of party animal for people to get thrown in this trash. Guess they say things about you too, huh?
I'm chubby, but I don't think I am.
I started working when I was a teenager too.
We're gonna have a place right there, correct? They can swing down. Ready to do the outside of this place? All hands on deck to build this deck. I feel good about this collaboration, but the key to nailing this down.
Guys, what's up? Hello and welcome to Skycurser Daily number 83, where it's our goal to be a better indie dev today than we were yesterday. Yeah, late stream today. We are going to pick up a little past where I left off with the last stream. I was able to get some work in last night. I didn't get any streaming in, but I did get some work in, and that was fixing the bug that presented itself right at the end of last stream, which was closing up the bridge and also introducing the shipyard, which is the section that we'll be fighting the boss in. So today, that leaves me with boss scripting. So I'm going to be doing some boss scripting. Additionally, I may just create a test room and drop Skycurser in the test room and see if that can get us off the ground for just doing some testing versus the boss, so that we don't have to play all of level 2 just to get to the boss. So what I'm going to do for today is go ahead and play through. I'm going to hit play on our game, play through level 2, show you just kind of what happens when we get to the shipyard, and then talk through what the fix was. For last time, it was a real simple fix, as I suspected it might be. It just wasn't extremely obvious when I was looking at it initially, but real simple fix. I'll show you what it is, and yeah, so boss scripting level 2. This is exciting. Alright, so still just waiting for this to load. Okay, so we're coming up on the bridge here. Notice the bush background and tree background right behind the bridge look good, as we fixed that the other day. Probably still going to tweak that a little bit, but then here in a minute the bridge is going to end. And of course I just added a lot of time to the level. Notice the big tanker there in the background, or the cargo ship, and here's the shipyard. So this is basically where the fight with Gaki is going to occur. Not Gaki, but Julio and Cesar. So yeah. So I could either add him in right there, or just try setting up a room and get me into that room where I can play against that just Julio and Cesar and start scripting from there immediately. Are the enemy projectiles destructible? No, they're not destructible, but they will. So basically, you cannot kill or destroy the enemy projectiles, but you can deflect them with a katana. And most enemy projectiles will also do damage to anything that they actually connect with as well. So yeah, that's just a little something about the projectiles. They actually do damage. All right. So I need to go to Drive to pull up boss scripting. So pulling up boss scripting for level 2. So I don't know if there actually is boss music for level 2, but I'll just kind of show you guys what I'm looking at, so you're on the same page. This is the script. Julio and Cesar are basically, this boss is going to be 2 separate objects. They're each going to do their own thing, and so I'm going to have to connect, quote unquote, them to each other, probably through an object. And yeah, so we should be good there. Alright. First things first, let's see if we can get this room set up, but also let me see if I've already got these enemies in here. Shipyard looks great. Thanks a lot. Hey Retro Rusty, good to see you, man. Welcome back. Yeah, Shipyard is looking good. I'm really satisfied with it. It's there's not really a lot I need to change there. I already modified how I wanted that to look the other day. There were a few things that I needed to work on. The ships were bobbing up and down quite a bit too quick yesterday. I fixed that, and then the shipyard needed to come in just a little bit sooner than it was coming in, and I fixed that as well. Okay. Boss 2, here they are, and I'll probably just create an object, and I'll have that object instantiate these 2, but I probably need to create a room, which I haven't done this yet. The room is just going to be a test room. Turn the mic down slightly. Yeah, it is up there pretty high. Sorry about that. Is that better? Can you hear me? Can you still hear me just fine? Thanks for the feedback on the mic. Sometimes it's hard to tell, and then sometimes it just automatically turns up real high. So, all right. So we're gonna add a room here. This will be room. It's going to be a very generic room. It's going to be room enemy test. And I will drop a background in this room I'll drop a couple things in here. Actually, I don't need to drop anything in as I'm looking at that. But I do want to look at what the creation code is for level 1, mainly because I just want to make sure the background... Awesome, thanks for the feedback on the mic. Mainly because I just want to make sure the background is black. And it looks like if I just do event inherited and I inherit from the base controller room object, that'll probably do it. So let's look at this. Doesn't init. Alright, I will just make sure enemy test, and then add the parent, which is going to be base controller room, add event, create, drop in some code, event inherited. That might do it for me, so we'll just see about that. And probably want to specify in here which enemy I want to come in. So we'll just do an instance create. Next. Instance create 0, 0. Not 0, 0. Let's do... Well, let's look at the script first to see how they're coming in. Julio flies in quickly from bottom right corner of screen. So I'm going to say here room height, room width. That should get him basically starting off screen. Probably won't be exactly off screen, but I'll do that. I'll do that math in a second. In fact, let's just do that right now. And I think I've got these backwards. Room width, room height, X and Y, basically. Plus sprite get width. And let's look at these guys.
If you have moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, isn't it time to let the real you shine through?
200 wide. 200 wide. I guess the width is supposed to be 200. So I'm just going to say 200 because I think that's what Chris is implying. The fact that they are both just kind of 200 wide. I'm not. Maybe not. Maybe not. I'll just do 400. And the height on these guys is 151 each. I will make the height, yeah, 151. Sprite get height. Sprite boss to Julio. And let's just go ahead and keep this dynamic. Sprite get width. Sprite boss to Julio plus sprite get width sprite boss to Cesar. Again, I'm not sure on the pronunciation if it's Julio and Cesar or Julio and Caesar. I would guess it's Cesar, kind of like a Spanish name. Width, height, and then instance create. This will be the object boss 2, which does not exist yet, and that should be good. We'll see how that works with Skycurser flying in. And let me create boss 2 as an object. What resolution is the game in again? Resolution is in 320 by 240 arcade resolution, standard arcade resolution. Super low res on a CRT. Looks definitely has that retro look. Okay, so Object Boss 2, add event, we'll add a create event. The create event here will instantiate Julio. And there is no sprite for Object Boss 2. The sprite is a combination of the sprite for both of these guys. And he is getting generated way off screen. We just set up the math for that. So let's just say XY of current Boss 2, where it gets generated at, and drop in Boss 2 Julio, and Cesar instance create XY object Boss 2 Cesar. And I'm sure I'm going to have to modify those a little bit, but I think that should do it. And then at that point, I pretty much control I may control Julio's movements in the object, in Julio's object. I may control Cesar's movements in Cesar's objects, but there may be some instances where I have to put some code in Object Boss 2 by itself. There is one other thing I wanted to do here, which is specify the parent here. So I'll just say j.parent, and this is different than if you're doing a game for 16 by 9. Would you still use 320 by 240 and get GMS to fill the screen? No, we would not do that. 16 by 9, that would be basically, I'm trying to think of the different sizes, like 1280 by 720 or 1920 by 1080, something like that. Those would be 16 by 9. But yeah, 320 by 240, I think, I'm not sure what the closest thing to 320 by 240 would be, but obviously the math doesn't quite add up there. I think that's 4:3. I think 320 by 240 is like 4:3. Would that be 9? 16 by 9?
He's wasting no time creating a sketch of the bar. This is going to be a great setting feature for this beach house. Something like that.
Let me see.
I'm here for the next 2 hours. What am I doing? Hey! So I would like to help put our name on this house. Okay, good luck. You know I am part of this.
Bust out the old trusty calculator.
We have a turquoise colored wall. How about we do an acre? In red. Yes. Let me hang this out.
Yeah, I think that would probably be about right. 640 by 360 based on my math. But it looks like you did the math before I did, so looks like you're probably right as well.
Alright, so I like it. Thank you so much for your help. The bar looks great. I wish we could have Johnny's help tomorrow.
I like to use 16 by 16 or 32 by 32 tiles, but that doesn't work with that resolution. Oh, sounds like you may have to have a shorter tile in there somewhere, or have one of the tiles cut off at the end. Yeah, that sucks. I'm not sure what a quick solution for that would be. I bet you could find a very quick answer in the Game Maker forums, though. j.parent equals self, c.parent equals self, and j.parent set equals true, c.parent set equals true. So in each of these, I'm going to add an event, create event, add a piece of code here. Parent set will be false, and it'll be basically the same in the other one. So we can just check for whether or not parent set is true, and as soon as we set the parent here, we're going to set this to true, which will allow us to prevent any code from being run in the step event unless the parent is set. So in the step or two that it takes to create and then set these, we won't get an error saying if we try to control the parent in any way from one of the hands, if the parent isn't set and is not somehow connected yet. Stream buffers all the time for me. I don't get that problem with other streams. Any idea? Let me see here. There might be something I can do. That sucks, man. I wonder if that's what happens with everybody. Let me try this. So I'm going to try this, and I think I'm going to have to drop stream for a second just to come back up as that. All right, let me try this. So I'm going to drop for a second.